Just a quick disclaimer, this episode does not include any trial details or any unknown investigation or case details that the public does not know about. Welcome to the morning feed. I want to share with you an article currently on our website regarding the lives of Abby Williams and Libby German. As the case continues into week 2 of trial, I just wanted to share something that will hopefully shed a little bit of light on where we're at in this case and where we've been along the way, even before the arrest of Richard Allen. If you're unaware of this case, there will be details that let you know in this article what this case is about, essentially. I believe that this article is more for people who are following this case. However, Abby and Libby were two friends, teenage girls who lived in Delphi, Indiana, and they lost their lives to a horrific crime that was perpetrated against them as they went for a walk at the Monon High Bridge on a day off school. Delphi has searched for the suspect for 5 years until they arrested Richard Allen, who is now finally at trial. So let's go over to the article. It can be found on themorningfeed.com, right on our newsfeed page. So the first week of trial against Richard Allen began with jury selection, opening statements, and the state's first several witnesses, including family members and law enforcement. During week 2, the state will continue to call witnesses, and as trial watchers and reporters line up at 3 a.m. In an attempt to witness the long-awaited trial, we'll continue to see how this unfolds. Richard Allen is accused of taking the lives of Abigail Williams and Liberty German in Delphi, Indiana, over 7 years ago. The teen girls were close friends, and they decided to take advantage of their day off school by taking a walk at the Monon High Bridge in Carroll County, Indiana. Initially, they were reported missing, and no one could reach them on the phone or find them at the bridge. The case quickly became international news when the investigation seemed to reach a halt, and investigators released footage of a man that the public called Bridge Guy, approaching Abby and Libby on the bridge. The state of Indiana alleges that Richard Allen is Bridge Guy. The man seen in a short clip released by law enforcement that shows a blurry video of a man walking towards Abby and Libby on the Monon High Bridge, the day that they were taken. Now, shortly after Allen was appointed 2 public defenders, new faces began to report about the case through independent media platforms like YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, you name it. All sorts of different platforms that people could use independently on their own to report on the case. Newfound interest in the case is nothing new to Delphi veterans who have watched waves of new interest over the years anytime it appears in the headlines. And things have always been heated when it comes to public discussions about the investigation and possible theories over the years. 5 years of Reddit feeds and Facebook groups dedicated to what happened to Abby and Libby became exhausting over time. What began as a community who instantly joined forces behind 2 missing teens lost in the woods eventually turned into a living nightmare of harassment towards the family, false confessions, a grab bag of theories on public forums, and fraud. Lots and lots of fraud. In October of 2022, the charges were filed against Richard Allen, and he was arrested. A new wave of old theories began to circulate after Allen was appointed legal counsel. The harassment also made a return, and the fraud. All of it came with a new twist, though, a gag order. For the last 2 years, not only the legal counsel, but also those closest to Abby and Libby are unable to speak about the case. It seems like a blessing and a curse. While it protects the ongoing court case, it also allows narratives to grow like mold. The public discussion about theories of what might have happened to Abby and Libby are understandable to a degree. The 5 years prior to Alan's arrest were filled with twists and turns from the moment that the girls were reported missing. No one anticipated anything sinister had happened to them until they were found, and everything just became very dark very quickly. The woods were filled with residents searching for the girls. No one knew that they were walking on a crime scene that needed to be preserved. Theories, they range from rituals to lone wolf suspects. Just before Alan's arrest, there was another controversy online. Yet again, when a man began sharing concerning videos of himself in Delphi talking about what happened to Abby and Libby, and several individuals online decided that he was the suspect. Now, he's not the first to falsely claim anything about the case having something to do with it or knowing something about the crime. The investigation has taken many turns to ensure that they looked into anyone who fit the description of someone who may be responsible for the crimes, both in past criminal behavior and in appearance. Now, back to the heart of the matter. The town of Delphi and the families of Abby and Libby experienced something extremely dark in February of 2017. An unshakable torment that some of them personally witnessed when they discovered Abby and Libby in the woods of Carroll County. Others only heard about the discovery, but that was enough to terrify them of the possibility that something very dark could be walking among them on a daily basis. Now, the families, they were given a baptism by fire into the world of what some call true crime. It's a genre for some and a reality for others. Those closest to Abby and Libby became an object of obsession and rumor, and as trial enters week 2, Delphi is reliving the very moment that everything went dark. Whichever side of the courtroom you sit on, the weight of their pain is crushing. Yet it seems that theories and narratives have silenced their voice. With every new detail that this trial reveals, send positive thoughts to everyone involved who has memories of Abby and Libby from a different time, before everything went dark in Delphi. The community has lit the way for the family during the most difficult time in their lives. It's time for the broader community that has followed this case to illuminate the path for Delphi, rather than critique the effort of each person who made an effort to show up for Abby and Libby during what became an unforgettable nightmare in February of 2017.